Welcome back to the kitchen, everybody. This is your boy, the Mad Chef, and tonight we're doing yet again another segment from Better Than the Box, which is to date my #1 most requested segment on this channel. And guys, you guys must love me at this point because this makes the second Better Than the Box in 2 weeks. My last video was a Better Than the Box, but it was a dessert Better Than the Box. And guys, if you have not watched it, what are you waiting on? Put this on hold and watch my previous video. It will blow your mind, and the result was amazing. As always, there's a link in the description and a card floating around. That was a milestone for me, and I could not be more proud of the end result. Now, this one here is also going to be another one of those milestones that I've been wanting to make for a long time, and we're finally doing it. This is a low-stress and completely from scratch version of Marie Callender's. Yep, we're going after some big names. I told you guys this. The cheesy chicken, rice, and broccoli bake. You guys know what I'm talking about as a child that grew up in a low-income household for pretty much most of my life growing up. We ate our fair share of frozen foods and TV dinners. And one of my most favorite ones was that Marie Callender's cheesy chicken and broccoli rice bake, whatever you want to call it. It's a mouthful. And tonight, we're going to take that and we're going to elevate that comfort food classic in a way that you have never seen it, using common ingredients. And hopefully we will beat the box. And we're going to start with our chicken. We're going to be going in with a rotisserie style seasoned chicken breast. So without further ado, let's get started. And now it's time to give our chicken breasts the rotisserie style treatment. And that's all going to start with a little bit of extra virgin olive oil. All I'm doing here is putting a light coating on both sides and then spreading it out a little bit. And you might be wondering why I'm lubing these up with olive oil, and that's because when you're making a traditional roasted or rotisserie chicken, you put a good bit of butter up underneath the skin, and this is going to take the place of butter. We do need some fat if we want these chicken breasts to properly roast. So that's all we're doing. We're not going super heavy with it, but just enough to create a binder and to keep moisture in while these chicken breasts are roasting. And the next thing we're going to do is give it a rotisserie seasoning. And I used this on a roasted chicken earlier this week, and it's absolutely banging. So in this container is 1 teaspoon of kosher salt, 1 teaspoon of ground black pepper, 2 teaspoons of garlic powder, 1 teaspoon of onion powder, 1 1/4 teaspoons of regular paprika for some color, 1 teaspoon of oregano, and a 1/2 teaspoon of thyme, and we're just going to go ahead and season both sides generously. All right, and now that we've got that done, we're going to simply put these guys in the oven on 425 degrees and cook them for about 25 minutes. Now, I know a lot of the online recipes you see for this exact same meal tell you to cook it with the rice, and I'm telling you not to do that. We want to go for a roasted chicken flavor that's going to elevate this dish unlike anything else. So please, don't cook it the conventional way with the rice and make the sauce. No, we want this roasted, and that's exactly what we're going to do. Before we can move on to our rice and our sauce, let's go ahead and prep our broccoli. This is 3/4 of a 12-ounce bag of broccoli florets that I got from the produce section, and we're simply going to go ahead and cut off the remaining stalk that connects to the actual head of the broccoli floret. Once we do this, it'll break down the broccoli into smaller, manageable pieces. Kind of like what I have in my hand right here. You don't want any big honking chunks of broccoli into your casserole, simply because 1, it gives you uneven distribution of the vegetable, and 2, when broccoli gets warm and it's cooked, especially in large quantities, it gets kind of funky, and no one really wants that. Now, I love broccoli, and I eat it almost every day of the week. It's a top 5 veggie for me. But if you're making this for a crowd, and especially if you have kids, do what I'm doing right here. Cut all the stalk off right up until it meets the actual, what I call the tree part of the broccoli. And then it'll automatically start falling apart. You really shouldn't have to do a whole lot of cutting here. And honestly, don't even throw away your stalks. If you're anything like me, they make absolutely great snacks. And I probably ate about, the remaining one of these that are on the board. I love broccoli. All right, and once we get our broccoli all nice and in small and manageable pieces, let's go ahead to the stove, and we're going to go and work on our rice and sauce. We're going to do this together to manage our time, and this should come together pretty quickly. By the time our sauce and our rice is done, that chicken should be ready to come out of the oven, so let's go. All right, now it's time to start working on our sauce and rice. And on the right-hand side, you see I have a nice blue sauce pot heating over a medium-high heat. And to that, we're going to be adding 2 cups of a nice quality chicken stock. I'm using low sodium. Use whatever you like. And to that, we're going to be adding in 2 cups of our instant rice. We're going to cook it the same way. Once it reaches to a boil, we're going to pull it off the heat and then put a lid on it and let it absorb all those juices. I am not going to be salting this rice and chicken stock mixture simply because we have a lot of other salty elements on the way, and we do not want this to be, a stroke-inducing amount of sodium. So we're just going to let that do its thing. And while that's happening, we're going to go ahead and turn the heat on to our other burner where we're going to be making our sauce. And the sauce is the key to bringing this all together. You can't have a proper broccoli cheddar rice and chicken casserole without a sauce. Guys, do not go and get cans of condensed cream of mushroom or cream of chicken soup. We don't need them. That's going to add additional artificial flavors and ingredients and a whole lot of sodium you don't need. Just like I did in my 100 subscribers video, we're making our own sauce, and I'm going to show you you don't need any of those things. Those recipes kind of lie to you, and I'm here to show you a better way to do it that's also easy. All right, so in this saucepan, we're going to toss in about 3 tablespoons of unsalted butter, and we're going to melt that down. All right, now this part is actually kind of optional. If you use that microwavable broccoli like I've seen in some other videos, you would just work on your rest of your sauce at this point. But we're using raw broccoli, so we do need to par cook this so that way it's not, raw and too crunchy and unedible in this casserole. So to that melted butter, we're going to add in all of our nice chopped up broccoli florets, and we're going to cook this out for maybe about 1.5 to 2 minutes. You don't want to overcook it, otherwise your broccoli is going to turn to mush. So 2 minutes. All right, now that the 2 minutes is up, we're going to go ahead and add in 2 teaspoons of minced garlic, and we're going to sweat that off for an additional minute. All right, now that our aromatics and broccoli have been cooked up, we're going to go ahead and hit this up with 2 tablespoons of all-purpose flour, and we're going to go ahead and cook out that raw flour for about a minute. All right, now that we've got all that nice flour cooked up, we're going to hit this up with 1 cup of milk or half and half, heavy whipping cream, whatever you have on hand is fine. And we're going to season it up with a teaspoon of each kosher salt, ground white pepper, and onion powder. Also in a little bit, we're going to be adding in 1 teaspoon of Better Than Bouillon chicken base to give it a little oomph and umami. So we're going to stir that until it's well combined. And as you can see here, it thickened up super, super quick. Almost too quick, and it's not going to create enough sauce at this point. So I'm going to hit this up with an additional 3/4 of a cup of milk. We want to kind of loosen this up. And now that we've gotten that thinned out just a little bit, it's time to bring it back up to heat and start stirring, getting it a little bit thick. And to this, we're going to be adding in 1 cup of shredded mild cheddar. We're going to get that well incorporated. Don't worry, guys, there's more cheese on the way. This ain't it. And now once everything is all nice and melted and well combined and you've got everything put together, we're going to add in our 2nd cup of shredded cheddar, and we're going to get that melted off the rest of the way. And again, guys, this came together super, super quick. So we're going to go ahead and take this off the heat. Our chicken only has a few minutes left, so I'll see you at the next step. All right, and we have transferred all of our nice, beautifully cooked chicken breasts into this large mixing bowl. Also, keep in mind, once we take our chicken out of the oven, we're going to need to reduce the oven to 350 degrees Fahrenheit because we no longer need those higher roasting temperatures anymore. So we're going to go ahead and start shredding this chicken up using 2 forks. And once everything is all nice and pulled, it should look something like this. And guys, this tastes amazing. Glad we went for a roasted chicken flavor. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and add in our lovely, beautiful chicken rice. And before we mix anything together, we're going to add one last flavor element, and that is 2 teaspoons of Worcestershire sauce. This is going to take the umami and the saltiness to the next level without being overpowering. So now we're going to give all of our chicken and rice a nice big mix together, making sure everything is well incorporated. And then, yep, you guessed it, we're going to add in that lovely cheese sauce with all the broccoli and everything. And then we're going to get this all nice and well combined. And it should look like a mess, kind of like this. But it smells phenomenal. So what we're going to do now is go ahead and take a taste test, because before we finish this up, we need to make sure this is the best chicken casserole filling we've ever had in our lives. And the first taste was really good, but it is lacking salt, surprisingly. So we're going to go ahead and season this up very lightly with some kosher salt, because we have cheese going on top. Again, we don't want to create a stroke out of this one meal. And upon second taste test, this thing is absolutely amazing. And I can tell you, without a doubt, this is going to be the best chicken casserole ever. So now that we got that all nice and mixed in, we're going to go ahead and put all of this nice mixture into a 9x13 baking dish. And then, you guessed it, we're going to go ahead and top it with another 2 cups of nice shredded cheddar cheese. But that ain't it. We got to sex this thing up a little bit. You know, we got to keep up appearances. And we're going to do that with some nice parsley for some color, for some, visual appearance, and also some herbaceous taste. And now that all that is done, we're going to slam this thing into the oven for about 15 or 20 minutes. I'm going to set my timer for 20, but we're going to check it at 15. All right, so in all fairness, it's been a long time since I've given you all a nice overhead view of what any of my dishes look like. And oh my God, it's been 15 minutes. And for me, this is perfect. Now you can keep it on for the additional 5 minutes to make it a full 20 if you want that cheese to harden up a little bit, give it a little bit of a crunch element. That's fine. This is perfect for me. So I want to let this sit for about 10 minutes, and then we're going to dive right in. I cannot believe how good this turned out. All right, guys, so that long-awaited 10 minutes has passed, and guys, I can't tell you enough how astonished I am with how this came together. Just from the initial taste before it went in the oven, this is already better than any other casserole I've ever had. But we got to be fair. Honestly, the total time lapse for this meal to come together was about an hour and 10 minutes. Now, if I wasn't recording and trying to fight with the camera angles and everything else like that to get everything right, I do believe I could have gotten this put together pretty quickly in about 45 to 50 minutes. Just outside of weeknight gourmet criteria, but it doesn't feel like it even takes this long. It comes together really quick, and it feels like it was put together in about 30 minutes. Everything progresses really fast, especially if you manage your time. And honestly, it doesn't even feel like I've been at the stove this long. All right, enough with the jabberjawing. It's time to see if this actually stands up to and possibly beats the OG by Marie Callender's. All right, now we've cut these into some nice size squares. It's time to pull one out. Of course, first bite goes to Miss Mad Chef. Oh my God. Do you see the cheese? That is incredible.
No, sorry, I wasn't paying attention.
Alright guys, so this one gets shipped off to the lady of the house. Feeding the food bandit yet again. Alright, it's my turn, and guys, this means a lot to me. I was raised on these frozen dinner items like this. My childhood was brought up on a lot of these things. Growing up broke, poor, but you know what? We ate them and we loved them. All right. Want to get a bite with a little bit of everything in it. Look at that. You're not getting cheese like that out of the box. All right. Ooh. Hot damn! That is, hands down, the best broccoli cheddar chicken casserole I've ever had in my life. I've not had one with the flavor that this one has. The umami from the Worcestershire. You've got that fresh sauce. There's no canned soups, guys. Don't buy canned soups. You don't need them. The cheese, the broccoli, the fresh ingredients, the roasted chicken seasoning. I highly recommend you make it this way for your family. And also, guys, think about it this way. When I was growing up, these, frozen TV dinners were the cheapest things to feed a family. If you look at the prices of things today, and if you're buying those family-sized entrees and TV dinners, you're paying more for what's in that box and what it costs to make it from scratch. Please, guys, unless you're buying the little $5 struggle meals, and I get that, you're not going to find all the ingredients for $5. But if you're going for something like those large Marie calendars, the large Stouffer portions, guys, for the same price, possibly less. A lot of times I save money by making things, from scratch with fresh ingredients. Your wallet will be happy. Your body will thank you. And guys, your family will thank you. I do encourage fresh eating and fresh foods if it's affordable. That's what I live by. Everything I get is sustainable for me. I'm on a budget, of course. And hopefully this helps you guys out during your week. It might be outside of, the weeknight gourmet range, but if you get off of working time and if you don't mind putting a little bit of elbow grease in work, this is a very easy meal to make. Until next time, I love you guys. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more content, and I'll see you in the next video.